The system tasked you with capturing the Demon Lord's heart. But 500 years passed and you have not taken a single step out of the sect's gates until the news of the Demon Lord's soul shattering and her death arrived. Only then did the system furiously roar at you. Mission failed. You will never recover your cultivation in this lifetime. Your lifespan is nearing its end. You did not even bat an eyelid, just casually replying with an "oh."
You had zero reaction to the fact that you were about to die.
The system was so mad, it wanted to kill you on the spot. 5 whole centuries. I told you to win over the mission target, but what did you do? You fought her the moment you met. Fighting is all one thing, but you turned into mortal enemies fighting to the bitter end. Now the mission target is dead. What kind of host acts like you? Are you done? The system was so furious, it nearly crashed on the spot. Dinging, system escape protocol activated. Goodbye, you bastard host! The system was gone. Your cultivation was gone. You turned around, dragging your weakened body toward the bedchamber. However, your foot suddenly stepped on something. It was soft, warm, and felt like a living creature. You looked down. It was a little fox. Its body was snow white, its fur like smooth satin. It should have been incredibly beautiful. But right now, it was covered in scars and its breathing was faint. You crouched down and carefully scooped the little fox into your palms. How did you get hurt this badly? You frowned, a hint of heartache in your voice. The little fox could not even open its eyes, but its trembling body was clearly fighting desperately to survive. You stared at this furry little ball for a long time, then suddenly chuckled softly. Since we crossed paths, it must be fate. From now on, we will rely on each other to survive. Meanwhile, the little fox, or accurately speaking, Demon Lord, Luo Mangosteen, had her consciousness drifting in the darkness. Pain. It hurt everywhere. The pain of shattered meridians, the agony of a fragmented soul. The 7 great elders, those old bastards, she, the majestic demon lord of the 9 underworlds, Empress of the demon realm, who ruled the 6 realms for centuries, was actually ambushed by her own subordinates, ungrateful, backstabbing wolves. If she had known, she should have refined them all into soul pills back then. She wanted to rage, but realized she did not even have the strength to move a single finger. She was gravely injured, forced to revert to her true form to escape. She could only follow the aura of the wandering dragon jade pendant to teleport. That was a pendant given to her years ago by a righteous sect cultivator named Sue Starfruit. She claimed it was a token of the Takeshu sect, the number-owned righteous sect, hoping to befriend her. She originally thought she could teleport to that female cultivator to lay low for a while, but after a bout of dizzying spatial shifting, she found herself landing in a place so familiar it made her gnash her teeth. Frostflower Hall of Hangshao Peak, the territory of the mortal enemy she had fought for 500 years. Then, she completely blacked out. When she regained consciousness, she felt herself being cradled by something. She tried hard to open her eyes, but could not manage it at all. Right then, a cold, familiar voice rang in her ear. From now on, we will rely on each other to survive. This voice, along with this suffocating, socially awkward aura, she could not mistake it. Lin Jackfruit, the head disciple of the Takeshu sect, the only Mahayana realm, immortal, venerable in the righteous path, who could rival her. That mortal enemy she fought relentlessly for 500 years. It is over. This venerable Owen has fallen into his hands. She wanted to struggle and flee, to transform back into a human and give this nemesis a giant slap across the face. But right now, she could not move at all. She could only let him hold her in his arms. Suddenly, Luo Mangosteen realized a terrifying fact. She was currently in her fox form, and Lin Jackfruit obviously did not recognize her. This bastard actually thought she was just an ordinary spirit pet. Lin Jackfruit, you blind fool. I am the dignified demon lord of the 9 underworlds, the master of the demon realm. Even if you're blind, your dog nose should be able to sniff out the demonic aura on my body, but having lost your cultivation, you were completely oblivious to the faint demonic aura lingering on her. You just gently stroked her fur, your movements incredibly tender. Do not be afraid. I won't hurt you. Who's afraid? This venerable Owen is not scared of you. I am just temporarily immobilized. That is all. Once my injuries heal, you will be the first Owen I kill. But when she woke up again, she found herself lying on a soft cushion. The wounds on her body had been carefully treated, coated with some unknown herbal poultice. The pain had lessened significantly. The first thing she saw was that familiar face. Lin Jackfruit was sitting right beside her, holding a bowl of broth that emitted a medicinal fragrance.
You are awake.
Your voice was as cold as ever, but listening closely, there was a trace of imperceptible joy. Luo Mangosteen stared at that face with complex emotions.
500 years.
She had fought with this man for 500 years. She had never seen him make any other expression. She only knew he had severe social anxiety and hated interacting with people. He was always a lone wolf. Even though he was an immortal venerable of the righteous path whose cultivation reigned supreme, he just had to be a silent, introverted blockhead. Back then, when she proactively went up to greet him, this idiot just turned around and walked away. when she chased after him. He started attacking without a single word, and so the two of them started fighting. That fight lasted 500 years. They would fight whenever they met, and when apart, they would obsess over how to fight the next time. Luo Mangosteen always felt that this nemesis just needed a good beating, but now looking at the silvery white strands in Lin Jackfruit's hair, an inexplicable surge of emotion welled up in her heart. Why had his hair turned white? And his face was as pale as a sheet of paper completely devoid of color.
This is
The sign of the 5 decays of heaven and man. Luo Mangosteen's pupils shrank slightly. The 5 decays was an omen that a cultivator's lifespan was nearing its end. Once it appeared, it meant the person's days were numbered and beyond any cure. This mortal enemy was going to die. Should she be happy? After all, good and evil cannot coexist. With him dead, she ought to be clapping and cheering. But why did her chest feel so heavy and stifled?
Little Own,
Drink some medicine. Your voice interrupted her thoughts. You're hurt too badly. There is still demonic aura lingering in your wounds. You must have suffered an unprovoked disaster. You paused, a trace of apology in your tone. I have lost my cultivation now, so I cannot help you expel the demonic aura. I can only do my best using some mortal herbs. Lost his cultivation. That peak Mahayana realm expert, the righteous immortal venerable who could cleave the sky with a single sword strike, had no more cultivation. How is that possible? She stared at you intently, trying to sense even the slightest ripple of spiritual energy from you. Yet there was absolutely nothing. Just like an ordinary mortal, Luo Mangosteen was dumbfounded, fleeing for her life with heavy injuries, only to be picked up by her nemesis was own thing. But why was her nemesis also at death's door? At this moment, you suddenly started coughing violently, coughing uncontrollably, each hack sounding heart-wrenching. Luo Mangosteen watched as the hand covering your mouth slowly stained scarlet. The inexplicable stifling feeling in her chest grew even heavier. Hey, nemesis, do not you die first. If you're going to die, you have to die by my hands. Who gave you permission to die on your own? She ranted wildly in her heart, unaware that her eyes currently held a worry that even she had yet to realize. You looked up, meeting the little fox's bright round eyes.
Little Own,
Are you worrying about me? Who is worrying about you? I'm just thinking about how to kill you. She tried hard to make a fierce expression, but found that her fox face simply could not muster anything fierce at all. Instead, her struggling made her look rather adorable. Do not squirm. You will tear your wounds. You reached out and gently held her down. Be a good girl. Drink your medicine. I am the demon lord of the 9 underworlds. How dare you call me a good girl? She was so mad she wanted to bite him. But the next second, warm medicinal broth was fed to her lips. Get some good rest after you drink this. You will feel better in a few days. Luo Mangosteen stared at the bowl of medicine, then looked at Lin Jackfruit's pale face again. In the end, she opened her mouth and drank the medicine. Not because of what this nemesis said, just because this venerable Oan indeed needs to recover. I need to heal my wounds to have the strength to kill him. Right. That is exactly it. The medicine quickly took effect. Luo Mangosteen fell into a deep slumber once again. In her daze, she felt herself being gently placed onto the soft cushion. Something was draped over her, warm and comfortable, and a hand was softly stroking her fur. Sleep well?
Little Own,
From now on, I will take good care of you. Luo Mangosteen groggily thought, why has this nemesis become so talkative? In the past, when we fought, he refused to say a single extra word. Now he has so much to say. So annoying, but that hand petting her fur gave her an inexplicable sense of security. Soon, she fell fast asleep. From now on, you shall be called Little White. I am your master. Remember. The little fox did not respond, just gently curling her body in her sleep. You smiled, leaned down, and planted a soft kiss on the little fox's forehead. Good girl. If Luo Mangosteen were awake right now, she would definitely jump up and bite you to death. Little White. You dare call me Little White? Your whole family is Little White. Also, why the hell did you kiss me? Dirty pervert. Lelcher. Once my wounds are healed, I will absolutely shatter your soul into oblivion. The next morning, Luo Mangosteen was awakened by a piercing noise. Lin Jackfruit. A shrill female voice rang out from outside the hall. The demon lord has fallen. The whole world celebrates. The entire cultivation world is holding a grand victory ceremony. As the head disciple of the Take-Shoe sect and an immortal venerable of the righteous path. Why are not you attending? Do you still have the sect in your eyes? Do you still respect me as your master? Luo Mangosteen's ears perked up. The demon lord has fallen. The whole world celebrates. They are talking about me. She forced her eyes open, just in time to see Lin Jackfruit hurriedly stuff her into his sleeve. Only then did he turn and walk toward the hall doors. Do not make a sound. Your voice was low, carrying a rare sense of tension. A figure stood at the entrance of the grand hall. It was a woman who looked around 30 years old. Her features were cold and dignified, but between her brows radiated an indescribable oppression and arrogance. Shen Durian, sect leader of the Teishu sect.
Lin Jackfruit's master.
Peeking through the gap in the sleeve, Luo Mangosteen looked at this woman, a glint of coldness flashing in her eyes. She knew this woman, back during the internal strife in the demon realm, when the 7 great elders rebelled together. This woman's shadow was pulling the strings behind it all. It was precisely this hypocritical righteous sect leader who secretly colluded with the traitors of the demon realm. The pincer attack from both sides was what caught her off guard. Master, your voice broke Luo Mangosteen's train of thought. She watched you walk up to Shen Durian and bow respectfully. Your posture was perfect, your demeanor humble. It looked like you were genuinely admitting fault. This disciple was impolite, failing to attend the victory ceremony. Please forgive me, master. Shen Durian scoffed coldly. As long as you know you were impolite. Her piercing gaze scanned you up and down, a cold sneer playing on her lips. I heard your health has been poor lately, and there is some issue with your cultivation. You kept your head down. Your voice calm. This disciple is fine. Fine. Shen Durian chuckled lightly. I see your face is completely pale, and your hair has even turned gray in places. Yet you claim to be fine. She took a step forward, her eyes sweeping over you repeatedly, as if inspecting a piece of merchandise. Forget it. I did not come here today to talk about this. For the victory ceremony, although you were absent, you still cannot omit a congratulatory gift. The demon lord has fallen, and the whole cultivation world is celebrating. As the number 1 sect of the righteous path, the Teishu sect naturally needs to bring out some treasures to reward the heroes. You are the head disciple of the Teishu sect, so naturally, you should be the one providing this gift. Inside the sleeve, Luo Mangosteen listened in utter disbelief, making her own disciple pay for the gift, especially when her disciple's body was in such terrible condition. What kind of master was this? You are the dignified sect leader. Do not you have your own money? Making a dying man foot the bill. She was so furious she wanted to bite someone, only to realize you were actually pulling things out. From your storage ring, you withdrew magical artifact after magical artifact, arranging them neatly before Shen Durian. The moon illuminating spirit pearl, 1,000-year cold jade marrow, 9-turn soul return pill. Every single piece was a priceless treasure. The final item was a completely translucent green jade flute, the Phoenix Cry flute. When Luo Mangosteen saw this jade flute, she froze. She recognized this thing. Back then, she and Lin Jackfruit fought over this Phoenix Cry flute for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, both suffered heavy injuries, and neither managed to snatch it. Later on, she deliberately lost to him so that he could obtain this flute. Even now, Luo Mangosteen remembered that day, looking at Lin Jackfruit's retreating back as he left with the Phoenix Cry flute, cursing in her heart 10,000 times about how incredibly stupid this guy was. He could not even tell that she had let him win, and now he was just casually taking out this Phoenix Cry flute to use as a congratulatory gift, giving it away to the sinister woman standing before him. Luo Mangosteen exploded with rage. Ignoring the fact that she was currently a fox, she opened her mouth and bit down viciously on your wrist. 4 sharp little teeth sank deep into your flesh. Your body stiffened, but you did not make a sound, merely biting your own lip fiercely to swallow the pain back down. Shen Durian did not notice anything amiss. Her attention was entirely captured by the treasures. Not bad at all. She nodded with satisfaction, sweeping her sleeve to stash all the treasures into her own pouch. At least you know your place. Focus on your recuperation. As for sect matters, I will handle them. Having said that, she turned and left. The entire time, she did not ask a single word about your health. She did not leave behind a single pill. She did not even cast a single glance of concern. Hiding in the sleeve, Luo Mangosteen trembled all over with sheer anger. This is the number 1 righteous sect. This is the dignified immortal sect leader. This is what they call the bond between master and disciple. Little White, you gently pulled her out of the sleeve and placed her back on the soft cushion. Looking at your wrist, at those 4 neat little tooth marks, you were not angry in the slightest. Instead, you revealed a gentle smile.
What is wrong?
Was it too stuffy inside my sleeve?
Stuffy your head.
I am mad at you? How could you give the Phoenix Cry flute to that old hag? I intentionally let you have it. Why the hell did you give it to her? You idiot. You useless trash. You disappointing fool. She was so furious she bounced around wildly on the cushion, wishing she could gnaw this spineless coward to pieces. Do not be angry. You reached out and gently stroked her fur.
I know you want to protect me.
But those worldly possessions, if they are given away, so be it. As long as you're still here, that is more important than anything else. Luo Mangosteen froze. Protect him. I was scolding him. Alright, but for some unknown reason, hearing that phrase, as long as you're still here, that is more important than anything else. The violent rage burning in her heart suddenly subsided a little after Shen Durian left. You did not rest. Instead, dragging your weak body, you went to the inner chamber of Frostflower Hall. From your spatial ring, you took out cinnabar, yellow paper, copper coins, and a talisman brush. Then you bit your fingertip and began drawing something on the floor with your blood. The blood stains spread across the floor, gradually forming an array. Luo Mangosteen looked at the array, her pupils shrinking abruptly. The 9 Underworld Soul Summoning Array. This was a legendary array capable of recalling the fragmented soul of the deceased. Legend had it that as long as the deceased had even a single shred of their soul left in the world, they could be summoned back by this array. But the cost of setting up this array was extreme. At best, it would damage On's cultivation. At worst, it would drain their lifespan and destroy their body. With Lin Jackfruit's current physical condition, Luo Mangosteen did not dare to think any further. Cough. Cough. You started coughing violently again. Blood spilled from the corners of your mouth, but you did not stop. Instead, with trembling hands, you continued to add your blood to the array. Luo Mangosteen watched your desperate efforts. Deeply bewildered, an indescribable emotion suddenly surged in her heart. This guy is obviously dying, so why is he setting up an array that drains so much lifespan? Whose soul is he trying to summon? She saw you kneeling in the center of the array, forming hand seals, and beginning to chant an incantation. The incantation was obscure and difficult to understand, but there was Onan name that she heard loud and clear. Luo Mangosteen. He is summoning my soul. He thinks I'm dead, so he is trying to summon my soul. A blood-red light rose from the ground, enveloping you within it, but the very next second, you spat out a mouthful of blood. The array backfired. You did not summon anything back, because Luo Mangosteen was not dead at all. Naturally, there was no fragmented soul to summon, but you did not know that. You just thought you were too weak, which caused the summoning to fail. Again, you wiped the blood from your mouth with your sleeve and formed the hand seals once more. Then you threw up another mouthful of blood, nearly collapsing onto the floor. Yet you still refused to give up. Luo Mangosteen watched your borderline insane state, feeling as if something was brutally squeezing her heart. She wanted to speak. She wanted to tell you that the majestic demon lord would not die so easily. But she was a fox right now. She could not speak. She could only watch helplessly as the array violently backfired on you time and time again. Finally, your body went limp on the ground, but your eyes remained open, staring at the empty array. Your gaze was filled with unwillingness and remorse. I'm sorry. I am too weak. I could not save you. Luo Mangosteen lay on her cushion, watching Lin Jackfruit's dying appearance, the nameless emotion in her heart growing heavier. It felt like sorrow, and also like guilt. Wait. No, why should this venerable Owen feel guilty? He is the Owen who wanted to cast the soul summoning array. It is not like I forced him to do it. If he dies, I should be happy. But why? Why does my chest feel so painfully tight? You lay on the floor for a long while before catching your breath. Then you struggled to get up, walked over to the little fox, and gathered her into your arms. Your voice was so weak, it felt like a gust of wind could blow it away. Little White, you were injured by demonic aura? You must have spent time near the demon realm, right? Perhaps you have even seen her. Her name is Luo Mangosteen. She is a very powerful demon lord. Of course, I have seen myself. But what do you mean by calling me powerful? Are you complimenting me? Why are you complimenting me? She and I fought for 500 years and never determined a winner. You continued speaking. She is the only ON who is willing to speak to me earnestly. Luo Mangosteen was stunned. Who was willing to speak to him? Every time they met, she just hurled insults at him. Alright, even though she scolds me every time, the corners of your mouth curled up slightly. I know she does not have bad intentions. She is just not very good at expressing herself. I am excellent at expressing myself. I just genuinely wanted to insult you. Do you understand? That phoenix cry flute my master took away earlier, your voice suddenly lowered, was actually a gift from her. Back then when we fought over that flute, I actually knew she lost to me on purpose. Her 1,000 illusions domain is so formidable. How could she possibly lose to me? You chuckled softly. She probably just wanted to make me happy, even though she would never admit it out loud. Lying in your arms, Luo Mangosteen felt like she was short-circuiting. There is one more thing that I have never told anyone. A few hundred years ago, I offended my master over some matter and was punished to kneel outside the sect's mountain gates. It happened to be pouring rain that day, with lightning tribulations descending. The people of the righteous path were all hiding in the shadows, watching the joke play out. Not a single person was willing to help me, but she came. Hearing this, Luo Mangosteen's heart skipped a beat. She rushed over from the demon realm, hid in the dark, and secretly cast a protective barrier over me. Your gaze grew distant. She thought I did not know. She deliberately suppressed her demonic aura, wanting me to believe someone from the righteous path had done it. But I recognize her aura. That faint scent of plum blossoms is unique to her. I have always wanted to find a chance to thank her, but every time we meet, she always tries to fight me, and I'm not very good with words, so I was never able to say it out loud. You lowered your head and looked at the little fox in your arms, your eyes gentle, yet laced with a hint of regret. Now I won't ever get the chance to say it. Resting in your arms. Luo Mangosteen felt as though something had forcefully slammed into her heart. So he knew everything from the very beginning. He knew it all. Little White. You gently stroked the little fox's fur. Tell me, do you think she hates me? Hates me for not appreciating her kindness. Hates me for not knowing how to be grateful. Luo Mangosteen stared at you blankly. Hate him? How could I possibly hate you? She just did not know how to face you. Forget it. You let out a soft sigh. She is already gone. Even if she did hate me, she does not have the chance to tell me anymore. You lifted your head to look at the moonlight outside the window. Little White, my days are numbered. After I die, you can refine my body to achieve your human form. Consider it the fate of our brief encounter. Luo Mangosteen sharply raised her head, looking at Lin Jackfruit's calm and nonchalant expression as he casually arranged his afterlife affairs, and inexplicable panic suddenly surged in her heart. No, he can't die. He has not apologized yet. Why did he attack me the very first time we met? He has not. Her mind was a complete mess. She did not even know what she was panicking about. She only knew that she did not want this mortal enemy to die. At the very least, he could not die before she did. Late at night, you leaned back against the soft couch, cradling the little white fox in your arms, talking to her in a soft voice. You had not spoken like this in what seemed like forever. In the past, you always cultivated alone, watched the moon alone. If someone tried to strike up a conversation, you would not know how to respond. If someone showed you goodwill, you would not know how to reciprocate. You only knew how to run away, or pretend you did not hear them. That was why the entire cultivation world thought that you, as an immortal venerable, were aloof, arrogant, and completely unapproachable. Only you yourself knew that you were just severely socially awkward. Little White, let me tell you a secret, you said softly. The little fox perked up her ears. Actually, the first time I saw Luo Mangosteen, you paused, a slightly unnatural blush surfacing on your face. I thought she was beautiful. She was wearing a red dress at the time, standing among the crowd during the standoff between the orthodox and demonic sects. She stood out so much. I originally wanted to go up and say hello to her, but I was so nervous. I could not utter a single word. Then, she walked over to me. I got even more nervous. She asked me what my name was, and my mind just went completely blank. I had absolutely no idea how to answer. And then, on pure instinct, your voice trailed off, eventually dropping to a mosquito-like mumble. I turned around and ran away. Wait a minute, Luo Mangosteen thought. So the very first time they met, the reason this guy turned and left was not because he looked down on her, but because of his social anxiety. She chased after me. You continued, a trace of frustration in your tone. I panicked even more. I thought she was going to demand why I ignored her. I did not know what to say, so I attacked. I truly did not mean to attack her back then. I was just so nervous. My body reacted before my brain could. After that, we started fighting, and it completely ruined the peace talks between the orthodox path and the demon realm. I deeply regretted it after the fight. I wanted to apologize, but I did not dare. I was afraid she would get even angrier. So I had no choice but to just keep fighting her ever since. Luo Mangosteen was dumbfounded. So she fought this mortal enemy for 500 years. All because of a misunderstanding, because he was socially awkward. He ran away because he was socially awkward. He attacked because he was socially awkward. He was too scared to apologize. I spent 500 years holding grudges against this idiot. I purposely lost the Phoenix Cry flute for this idiot. I secretly cast a protective barrier for this idiot. And in the end, this guy says it was just because of social anxiety. Luo Mangosteen shook with rage. She wanted to bite him, wanted to bite this stupid idiot to death. She wanted to turn back into a human and smack this blockhead open to see if it was filled with mush. Little White, you felt the little fox trembling in your arms.
What is wrong?
Are you feeling unwell? Unwell. I feel unwell everywhere. I am so mad at you that my whole body feels unwell, but she could not speak, so she could only glare at you, glaring so hard her eyes nearly popped out. You were taken aback by her glare, then reached out and rubbed her head. Be good. Do not be angry. Being angry is bad for your health. You are still petting me. Pet me again, and I will bite you. She really did bite down. She viciously clamped her teeth onto your finger. You gasped in pain, but you did not pull your hand away. You just let the little fox keep biting your finger. Go ahead and bite. You won't be angry after you bite me. She bit down on Lin Jackfruit's finger, freezing in place. Why is this idiot so annoying? He is clearly so socially awkward. He clearly does not know how to speak properly. He clearly does not understand anything. So why does every single word he says turn her heart into absolute mush? She loosened her grip. You looked at the tooth marks marks on your finger, and smiled. Are you calm now? Luo Mangosteen turned her head away, ignoring you. I'm not calm. I am just too lazy to bicker with you. You took something out from your robes? It was a jade pendant. It was warm and smooth all over, and finely carved. Engraved upon it were two entwined Jianjia birds flying side by side. Little White, look. I carved this myself. Luo Mangosteen looked at the jade pendant, her pupils shrinking abruptly. Back when she fought Lin Jackfruit, she saw a jade pendant hanging from his waist. That pendant had Jianjia birds carved on it. Although the carving was not exactly masterful, it revealed an indescribable sense of dedication. She thought at the time that it was a love token given to Lin Jackfruit by some female cultivator. After all, the number of female cultivators in the cultivation world who admired Lin Jackfruit was countless. Looking at that jade pendant, she had felt an inexplicable surge of anger. So taking advantage of their fight, she deliberately shattered that pendant into pieces with a single sword strike. After breaking it, she had even felt quite satisfied. Lin Jackfruit's expression at that moment, Luo Mangosteen remembered to this day. He was stunned for a very, very long time. Then he lowered his head and silently picked up the fragments from the ground. He did not say a single word. He just left in complete silence. From then on, Luo Mangosteen never again saw any jade pendant on him. She had assumed he was heartbroken over that love token, and thus did not dare to wear Oan anymore. She had even felt smug about it for a long time. From then on, Luo Mangosteen never again saw any jade pendant on him. She had assumed he was heartbroken over that love token, and thus did not dare to wear Oan anymore. She had even felt smug about it for a long time. But now Lin Jackfruit was telling her that he had carved that jade pendant himself. I carved two of them back then, you said softly. Oan was the Jianjia birds. The other was the wandering dragon. I kept the Jianjia bird pendant for myself, and the wandering dragon pendant. I originally wanted to find a chance to give it to her. Luo Mangosteen froze. Give it to her. Give it to who? Give it to Luo Mangosteen? You said softly, but I never found the right opportunity. Later, the Jianjia bird pendant was shattered by her. I suppose she probably despises me. She did not even want to look at the jade pendant I carved. So the wandering dragon pendant. I did not dare to give it to her anymore. You paused, a trace of bitterness in your voice. Later on, my junior martial sister asked for that wandering dragon pendant. I felt bad refusing her, so I gave it to her. Who would have thought? You lowered your head, looking at the shattered Jianjia bird pendant in your hand. Who would have thought that in the end, I would not even be able to keep this broken Oan? Luo Mangosteen suddenly recalled something. Back then, that righteous female cultivator named Sue Starfruit had sought her out, claiming she wanted to be friends, and even gifted her a jade pendant as a greeting present. The engraving on that very jade pendant was a wandering dragon. Luo Mangosteen had even thought the carving was quite nice at the time, and praised it quite a bit. Thinking about it now, that jade pendant she spent so long praising was not Sue Starfruit's item at all. It was carved by Lin Jackfruit. She had originally intended to track the aura of that jade pendant, to find Sue Starfruit and take shelter. No wonder after teleporting, she ended up here at Lin Jackfruit's place. Luo Mangosteen felt like an absolute idiot, a colossal idiot. She had originally intended to track the aura of that jade pendant, to find Sue Starfruit and take shelter. No wonder after teleporting, she ended up here at Lin Jackfruit's place. Luo Mangosteen felt like an absolute idiot, a colossal idiot. Little White, seeing her completely motionless, you grew somewhat worried.
What is wrong?
Luo Mangosteen looked into your clear, gentle eyes, then at the shattered Jianjia bird pendant in your hand, and suddenly really wanted to laugh, yet she also really wanted to cry. 500 years? She had fought this man for 500 years. She thought he was aloof. She thought he had a sweetheart. She thought he looked down on her. In the end, it was all just misunderstandings she had made up in her own head. This man was simply socially anxious. He just did not know how to speak. But he remembered her this entire time. He remembered her casting a protective barrier for him. He remembered her deliberately losing the Phoenix Cry flute. He remembered every single curse word she ever hurled at him. He had even personally carved a jade pendant for her. The little fox lay in your arms. She wanted to cry. She wanted to hit someone. She wanted to vent 500 years worth of grievances all at once, but she could not do anything. She could only lie here, looking at this idiot, listening to this idiot talk, and then listening to him arrange his own funeral. Little White, you said softly, my time is running out. There is something I want to discuss with you. If you are willing. You opened your palm and placed it in front of her. Just place your paw in my palm. I will leave my body to you. After I die, once you refine it, you will be able to take human form. Consider it the fate of our brief encounter. Luo Mangosteen looked at your open palm. She should have refused. She was the dignified demon lord of the 9 underworlds. How could she accept charity from a righteous cultivator? But her paw moved disobediently. She did not want to move it. Her paw just moved on its own. And then, her paw rested steadily in the center of your palm. You smiled. It was a smile from the bottom of your heart. She did not want to move it. Her paw just moved on its own. And then, her paw rested steadily in the center of your palm. You smiled. It was a smile from the bottom of your heart, carrying a hint of relief. Thank you. Little White, thank you for being willing to accompany me. Luo Mangosteen was stunned. She looked into your eyes, feeling as though something had struck her heart fiercely. Then you pulled a red thread from your robes. The thread was entirely crimson, emitting a faint glow. At a glance, it was clearly no ordinary item. This is the 3 lifetimes red thread, you said softly, a supreme treasure of the 3 realms. It acts as a medium to guide a soul into a body. With it will be much easier for you to refine my body, but legend has it that once this red thread is tied, the 2 parties will share Oan heart forever, never to be separated. Luo Mangosteen's pupils shrank violently. That legendary 3 lifetimes red thread that eternally bound 2 people if they developed true feelings for each other. She was about to struggle, but you had already tied the red thread to your fingertip. Then you tied the other end around her foxtail. Do not be afraid. The side effects of this red thread only activate if both parties have true feelings for each other. I am only having you use it as a medium for body refinement.
You are just a little fox.
It is even more impossible for you to develop feelings for me after I die. This red thread will naturally dissipate. It won't delay your future marriage prospects after you take human form. Impossible to develop feelings. How do you know this venerable Oan won't develop feelings? Wait. Why would this venerable Oan develop feelings in the first place? I am the demon lord of the 9 underworlds. I would never fall for a righteous cultivator. But looking down at the red thread on her fluffy tail, she suddenly had a rather ominous premonition. 3 days later, Frostflower Hall welcomed an uninvited guest, eldest martial brother. A coquettish voice echoed from outside the hall. Luo Mangosteen was dozing on her soft cushion. Upon hearing this voice, her ears immediately pricked up. She recognized this voice. Su Starfruit, the final disciple of the Takeshu sect leader Shen Durian, Lin Jackfruit's junior martial sister, and the very same bitch who used Lin Jackfruit's jade pendant to curry favor with her. As the hall doors were pushed open, a young girl in a white silk dress skipped inside. An innocent and brilliant smile plastered on her face. Eldest martial brother, I have come to see you. Su Starfruit was indeed quite pretty. Willow leaf eyebrows, almond eyes, cherry lips, and pearly white teeth. She exuded a playful and charming aura. But Luo Mangosteen instantly saw right through to the shrewdness and calculation hidden deep in her eyes. She was far too familiar with this look. Back when Su Starfruit came seeking her friendship, she wore this exact same innocent, harmless expression, smiling and calling her big sister Kingly on one hand while pilfering her good items on the other. Luo Mangosteen had foolishly thought this girl was rather cute back then. Thinking about it now, she just wanted to slap herself twice across the face. Eldest martial brother, your moon illuminating spirit pearl is so beautiful. Su Starfruit's gaze landed on a glowing pearl on Lin Jackfruit's table, and her eyes immediately lit up. I love it so much. Can you give it to me? You glanced at her, stayed silent for a moment, and nodded. Take it. Overjoyed, Su Starfruit pocketed the luminous pearl, her eyes already darting around again. Oh my, this Oan is beautiful too. And this Oan, eldest martial brother, the things you have here are all so pretty. She was like a rat that had broken into a treasure vault, touching this and looking at that. Every time she saw a good item, she would put on an I love it so much expression, and then stuff it all into her sleeves. Luo Mangosteen lay on her cushion, shaking with fury. This was the first time she had seen with her own eyes someone capable of such shamelessness, and Lin Jackfruit just watched her, not uttering a single word. Letting Su Starfruit rummage through his belongings, Luo Mangosteen was frustrated by his spinelessness. She wanted to rush over and bite this manipulative bitch to death, but she was currently in fox form, which made moving difficult. She could only watch with wide glaring eyes. After plundering around the room, Su Starfruit finally noticed the little white fox on the soft cushion. Huh. Eldest martial brother, since when did you get a little fox as a pet? She walked over, crouched down, and examined Luo Mangosteen. It is so cute. Let me pet it. She reached out her hand to stroke Luo Mangosteen's fur. Luo Mangosteen grew furious just looking at her hypocritical face. Pet my head. In your dreams, she opened her mouth and viciously bit down on Su Starfruit's wrist.
Chomp.
Ah! Gasp. Ah! Su Starfruit shrieked, yanking her hand back. 2 deep rows of tooth marks were clearly visible on her wrist, blood flowing freely.
You beast?
Su Starfruit's face instantly changed. That innocent, cute facade vanished without a trace, replaced by twisted anger and viciousness. How dare you bite me? She raised her hand, gathering spiritual energy in her palm, ready to strike Luo Mangosteen. Stop. A cold voice rang out. You stood in front of Luo Mangosteen, shielding her. She is my spirit pet. Your voice was calm, but carried an unquestionable authority. Sue Starfruit froze for a moment. Eldest martial brother. She bit me. Look at my hand. She held out her wrist for Lin Jackfruit to see, putting on an expression of utter grievance. It is true, she is your spirit pet, but she injured someone. Eldest martial brother, you must give me an explanation. But she injured someone. Eldest martial brother, you must give me an explanation. You glanced at the wound on her wrist. It was very shallow. It was obvious Little White had held back when she bit her. I will compensate you. You retrieved a crystal-clear piece of jade marrow from your storage ring. This 1,000-year cold jade marrow should be enough to compensate for your minor scratch. Seeing the cold jade marrow, Sue Starfruit's eyes immediately lit up. After refinement, the 1,000-year cold jade marrow could be used to break through to the soul formation realm. It was an extremely rare treasure in the cultivation world. She snatched the jade marrow and stored it in her pouch. At least you know what is good for you, she huffed, turning around to leave, but as she reached the door, she suddenly stopped, a malicious sneer curling the corners of her mouth. Oh, by the way, eldest martial brother, I really dislike that fox. If she bites me again next time, I will ask Master to intervene and have her put to death. Having said that, she flicked her sleeves dismissively and swaggered off. Luo Mangosteen lay on her cushion, shivering with anger. Little bitch, come back if you dare. This venerable Oon will be waiting. Let us see if this venerable Oon does not bite you to death. I will bite you to death. 3 days later, Sue Starfruit predictably returned. This time, she did not come alone. Behind her followed a familiar figure, the sect leader of the Takeshu sect, Shen Durian Jackfruit. Before Shen Durian even stepped through the door, her voice preceded her. Your master has arrived. Why are not you coming out to receive me? Is this how I have taught you to behave? You remained silent for a moment, slowly stood up. Master. You walked to the door and respectfully bowed. Shen Durian snorted coldly, striding into Frostflower Hall. Her gaze swept around the room, finally landing on the little white fox resting on the cushion. So this is the beast that dared to injure my beloved disciple, she said coldly. Sue Starfruit stepped forward right on cue. That dared to injure my beloved disciple, she said coldly. Sue Starfruit stepped forward right on cue, clutching Shen Durian's arm. Her eyes were slightly red. Look at Wanning's hand. She raised her wrist to Shen Durian. The wound on her wrist had actually healed long ago, but she had somehow procured some red medicinal liquid and smeared it all over, making it look horrifying. It was this beast who bit Wanning so hard it has been hurting for days and still has not healed. Master, you must seek justice for Wanning. Shen Durian's face darkened. Lin Jackfruit, the beast you're keeping injured your junior martial sister. How do you plan to handle this? You stayed silent for a moment. I will not punish her. She is my spirit pet. Shen Durian narrowed her eyes. Are you saying that you do not intend to give Wanning an explanation? You lifted your head, meeting Shen Durian's gaze. If Master seeks an explanation, this disciple is willing to compensate junior sister for her loss. But Little White, your voice grew slightly heavier, cannot be touched. Sue Starfruit let out a piercing shriek from the side. Eldest martial brother, how could you act like this? She is a beast. She injured me. And you're actually defying Master for the sake of a beast, she cried as she spoke, tears raining down her face, looking utterly pitiful. Master, you see, eldest martial brother does not care about Wanning at all. He got himself a beast, and completely forgot about Wanning, his junior martial sister. Wanning is so heartbroken. Watching Sue Starfruit cry a river of tears, a harsh glint flashed through Shen Durian's eyes. If you do not punish that beast, do not blame me for showing no mercy. Indulging a demon to harm a fellow sect member. Do not blame me for showing no mercy. Indulging a demon to harm a fellow sect member carries the same guilt as mutilating a fellow disciple yourself. Do you wish to be punished in the Hall of Justice? The atmosphere inside the hall instantly froze. Luo Mangosteen lay on her cushion, watching the scene unfold, sneering repeatedly in her heart. Excellent, this master-disciple duo really coordinated well, singing a flawless duet, seamlessly working together. She wanted to see how this useless coward of a mortal enemy was going to handle this. And then, she saw Lin Jackfruit move. You slowly stood up. Those eyes that were usually so gentle were now pierced with an unprecedented coldness. Master, this disciple has spoken. Little White cannot be touched. Shen Durian was taken aback. She had never seen Lin Jackfruit look like this. This disciple who had always been submissive and compliant was actually defying her right now. What did you just say? Shen Durian's voice deepened menacingly. I said you spoke, emphasizing every word. This seat has tolerated you for over 500 years, solely out of consideration for our past master-disciple bond. Yet why must you press me so relentlessly? My lifespan is nearing its end. After my death, you two will certainly not spare Little White. Since that is the case, do not blame this disciple for being ruthless. Master, The moment your words fell, the entirety of Frostflower Hall seemed to tremble. Shen Durian's face paled drastically. She sensed a terrifying aura, awakening within Lin Jackfruit's body. An aura profound and unfathomable. This is clearly the pressure of the Mahayana realm. Impossible. Shen Durian took a terrified step back. Have not. You already lost your cultivation. You did not answer. Biting the tip of your tongue, you spat a mouthful of blood into the empty air. The blood transformed into streams of runes mid-air, interweaving into a massive banner. The banner was pitch black through and through. The blood transformed into streams of runes mid-air, interweaving into a massive banner. The banner was pitch black through and through, embroidered with countless twisted faces that were screaming silently. The Myriad Souls banner, an ancient ominous weapon, capable of extracting people's souls and imprisoning them within it for all eternity. The moment Shen Durian saw that banner, her face completely changed. The Myriad Souls banner? Are you insane? That thing requires your lifespan as a price, just to activate it. But before she could finish her sentence, a flash of sword light had already slashed toward her. The Frost Chill sword, Lin Jackfruit's natal sword. Wherever the sword light passed, all things were frozen in ice. Shen Durian wanted to dodge, but the sword light was too fast. So fast that she could not react at all. Blood spurted out. The sect leader of the Takeshu sect, Shen Durian, was decapitated. Master, Su Starfruit let out a piercing scream, turning around to flee, but before she could even take 2 steps, a beam of sword aura pierced right through her heart. Gurgle, she looked down at the gaping, bloody hole in her chest. Her eyes filled with sheer disbelief. Eldest martial brother. She wanted to say something else, but it was already too late. The Myriad Souls banner unfurled, ripping her soul out, along with Shen Durian's soul. The 2 souls let out blood-curdling screeches from within the banner. You put away the Myriad Souls banner, your face as pale as a sheet of paper. That single strike just now had burned away the very last bits of your remaining lifespan, but you did not regret it. You understood perfectly well how, for all these years, this sect had treated you, if not for the existence of the system's mission. With your former Mahayana realm cultivation, how could you have ever willingly become someone else's pawn? Now the system is gone. You understood that your story had also reached its end. Using the power of your divine soul, you sealed off the entirety of Hangshao Peak. From this day onward, this mountain peak, which once housed a Mahayana immortal venerable, would be completely hidden away. The number-own peak of the Takeshu sect. Using the power of your divine soul, you sealed off the entirety of Hangshao Peak. From this day onward, this mountain peak, which once housed a Mahayana immortal venerable, would be completely hidden away. The number-own peak of the Takeshu sect would henceforth be reduced to flat ground. Little White. You turned around, wanting to take Owen's last look at Little White. That was your final emotional anchor. But the next second, your vision went black, and your entire body collapsed straight down. In your final moments of consciousness, you felt something catch you, warm and soft, and there was a faint scent of plum blossoms. Luo Mangosteen transformed into her human form and caught the falling Lin Jackfruit. She looked at that paper, pale face in her arms.
You absolute idiot.
Her voice was hoarse, carrying a trace of a tremble. For a mere fox, was it really worth it? You did not reply, just like a lifeless corpse. Luo Mangosteen channeled her primordial spirit and checked your pulse. Her expression grew uglier and uglier. Most of the meridians were shattered. Cracks had even appeared in the divine consciousness. Less than 10 years of lifespan remained. This idiot. He was truly using his life to protect her. Luo Mangosteen leaned against Lin Jackfruit's chest, listening to that faint heartbeat. Suddenly, she felt a stinging sensation in her nose. Nemesis. Do not you die just yet. If you're going to die, you have to die by my hands. Of course, you could not hear her. Luo Mangosteen lifted her head, looking at the moonlight outside the window. The moonlight cascaded like water, spilling over her peerlessly beautiful face, which at some unknown point had become covered in tear tracks. If you do not object, it means you agree, she said softly. From this day on,
You belong to me.
once you heal, you're coming back to the demon realm with me. You will do whatever I tell you to do. Do you hear me? Lin Jackfruit, of course, could not hear her, but Luo Mangosteen did not care. She lowered her head and pressed a kiss onto Lin Jackfruit's forehead. Nemesis. When you wake up, I have a lot of things to say to you. Days passed Owen by Owen. Spring went and autumn came. Cold arrived and summer left. In the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. For 2 years, Luo Mangosteen had constantly stayed by Lin Jackfruit's side. She steadily channeled her own demonic essence in a continuous stream into his body to repair his meridians and nourish his golden core. She learned how to brew medicine and cook porridge, change dressings and apply poultices, and even learned how to mend clothes, even though the stitching was crooked. and too ugly to look at directly. If the current scene were witnessed by those heavenly kings of the demon realm, their jaws would probably drop in shock. The dignified demon lord of the 9 underworlds, the empress of the demon realm, the sole overlord commanding the demon races of the 6 realms, had now turned into a little nurse fussing around a sickbed all day, turned into something like a wife taking care of her mortal husband. But she did not care. She only cared about when exactly this idiot was going to wake up. It was another late night. Luo Mangosteen leaned against the edge of the bed, looking at the deeply unconscious Lin Jackfruit. She whispered, "Dummy, when are you finally going to wake up? I am practically dying of boredom here. Do you know that to take care of you? It has been ages since I have cursed at anyone. I used to be able to scold you hundreds of times a day. Now I do not even have a target to scold." She kept rambling on, her voice getting softer and softer, until it finally turned into a mumble. "Hurry up and wake up. I have so much I want to say to you. I want to tell you that back then, the first time we met, I proactively greeted you, and you just turned around and ran. I was so incredibly mad. Later, when you attacked me, I got even angrier. I thought to myself, this mortal enemy definitely looks down on me, so I had to defeat you, to let you know just how powerful I am. Later, I realized you actually did not seem that annoying.
You are very strong.
Later, I realized you actually did not seem that annoying.
You are very strong.
Very good at fighting. Every time we finished fighting, you would secretly leave behind healing pills. You thought I did not know. I discovered it ages ago. I was just too embarrassed to say it out loud, afraid that those so-called righteous cultivators would give you trouble. And then later on, I saw that jade pendant hanging from your waist. I thought some woman had given it to you. I was furious. So I just shattered that jade pendant. After breaking it, I actually felt quite satisfied. But then I saw your expression. And suddenly, I was not satisfied anymore. I even felt a little regretful, but I am the Demon Lord. How could the Demon Lord feel regret? So I just pretended nothing happened. Kept fighting with you. Kept hating you. As Luo Mangosteen spoke, her eyes grew a little red. Nemesis. Do you know, I actually do not hate you at all. Every time I scolded you, it was actually because I wanted you to say a few more words to me. She paused, her voice as low as a mosquito's buzz.
I like you.
I have liked you since 500 years ago, but I did not dare to say it. I am the Demon Lord. You are an immortal venerable of the orthodox path. We were born to be mortal enemies. How could I possibly like you? I could only make you remember me by fighting you, to make you never forget me. As Luo Mangosteen spoke, her tears finally fell, dropping onto the back of Lin Jackfruit's hand. Her tears finally fell, dropping onto the back of Lin Jackfruit's hand. Nemesis, please wake up soon. I am even crying now. If you still do not wake up,
I will.
She choked on her sobs, unable to continue. She lay by the bed and cried for a very, very long time, until she was tired, and drifted into a groggy sleep. As for you, it felt as if you had an incredibly long dream. In the dream, you were constantly being taken care of by someone, but you could never see her face clearly until you slowly woke up. What greeted your eyes was a breathtakingly beautiful woman. She was sleeping soundly, tear tracks still hanging at the corners of her eyes. Her lips were slightly pouting, as if she was still throwing a tantrum at someone. You were far too familiar with this face. 500 years? You fought the owner of this face for 500 years. During every single encounter, you would secretly look at her, looking at her sharp features, looking at her arrogant and domineering appearance when she cursed at people. You had never told anyone that the first time you saw Luo Mangosteen, it was an indescribable feeling. It was as if something had struck your heart. The orthodox and demonic paths fought for 500 years.
You thought she hated you?
Thought you could only ever be mortal enemies, until that system told you that Luo Mangosteen was dead. At that moment, all your energy deflated. Your heart hurt so much. It hurt even more than losing your cultivation. You desperately tried to summon her soul again and again, even if it backfired until you bled from all 7 orifices. Even if it meant burning away your life force, you would not hesitate. That day, you picked up Little White, an injured little fox.
You gave her all your tenderness.
Because you treated her as another Chingli, a Luo Mangosteen who would not scold you and who would obediently stay by your side. Luo Mangosteen was awakened by a tingling sensation. She groggily opened her eyes, only to find a hand gently stroking her hair. The touch was warm and soft, and very comfortable. She instinctively nuzzled against that hand.
You are awake.
A hoarse, familiar voice rang in her ear. The touch was warm and soft, and very comfortable. She instinctively nuzzled against that hand.
You are awake.
A hoarse, familiar voice rang in her ear. Luo Mangosteen suddenly snapped her head up, meeting your deep, gentle eyes. You were leaning against the headboard, propping up your head with own hand, while your other hand still rested on top of her head. Your eyes carried a hint of amusement, as if looking at something interesting. Luo Mangosteen's heart skipped a beat. When did he wake up? Did I say anything weird? Did I drool?
Did I?
She instinctively wanted to turn back into her fox form, but it was too late. Lin Jackfruit had already seen her true face. What should I do? Did he recognize me? He probably did not recognize me, right? She had white hair now, not brown hair, and she had concealed her demonic aura, so she did not have the presence of the demon lord on her. She should not be recognized. Luo Mangosteen opened her mouth, her brain spinning rapidly. I am Little White, she said, feigning composure, after taking human form. My memory is a bit blurry. I only remember that my master treats me very well. As for everything else, I do not really remember much. She stumbled over her words, feeling incredibly guilty. You looked at her guilty expression, and the smile on your lips deepened. Is that so? Memory is blurry. Then, do you remember what my name is? Luo Mangosteen froze for a moment. He is testing me, Lin. Lin Jackfruit, she replied cautiously. My master is Lin Jackfruit. I am master's spirit pet. Little White, you said softly. The aura on your body is very similar to someone I know. Luo Mangosteen's heartbeat abruptly accelerated. Similar to who? Similar to someone I fought for 500 years. Every single word you said felt like a hammer striking Luo Mangosteen's heart. She froze in place. Similar to who? Similar to someone I fought for 500 years. Every single word you said felt like a hammer striking Luo Mangosteen's heart. She froze in place, her mind going completely blank. He knew. When did he find out? Was it just now? Or did he know all along? Master, she started dryly. I do not know what you're talking about. I am just a little fox. After taking human form, my memory is blurry, so I do not remember anything at all. She spoke with less and less confidence. You looked at her futile attempt to cover up the truth and chuckled softly. Right. You do not remember anything.
You are just a little fox.
Luo Mangosteen thought to herself, why does his tone sound like he is coaxing a child? Did he figure something out? Or maybe he is just probing. Luo Mangosteen's heart was in turmoil. She could not guess what Lin Jackfruit was thinking at all. Meanwhile, deep within the demon realm in the 9 Underworlds Palace, the head of the 7 great elders, Li Rambutan, sat upright on the demon lord's throne. Looking at the intelligence report in his hands, a sinister smile curled at the corners of his mouth. Luo Mangosteen is not dead. She actually survived, and she is even mixing with that righteous, immortal, venerable. Interesting. How very interesting. He put down the report and looked up at the blood-red sky outside the palace. Pass down my orders? That defected demon lord, this seat wants to ensure she never returns. Over the next few days, Luo Mangosteen carefully observed your reactions. This mortal enemy had indeed grown suspicious. He would occasionally say strange things. Little White, do you know how to use a sword? Little White, do you know where the demon realm is? Little White, have you ever heard of the demon lord of the 9 underworlds? Every time, Luo Mangosteen would shake her head in denial. But the way Lin Jackfruit looked at her became increasingly strange, like he was looking at a fox playing dumb. Yet he deliberately did not expose anything, like he was looking at a fox playing dumb. Yet he deliberately did not expose anything. Instead, he would smilingly rub her head and pinch her cheeks. Luo Mangosteen was tormented to the point of constant anxiety. She started to wonder if this mortal enemy had known her identity all along. Late that night, thinking you were asleep, she tiptoed to the window to gaze at the moonlight. 2 years had passed. Who knew what the situation in the demon realm was like? The matter of the 7 great elders' rebellion had to be dealt with sooner or later. She lowered her head, looking at the faintly glowing red thread on her tail, the 3 lifetimes red thread. Once both parties developed true feelings, they would be bound for eternity. She had already fallen for him, had not she? Otherwise, why did her heart race? Why did she care about his every move? Nemesis.
You bastard.
She murmured softly. Do you know, I think I somewhat like you. Just as her words fell, a soft chuckle came from behind her. I know. Luo Mangosteen stiffened all over. She spun around abruptly, only to see you leaning against the headboard. Your eyes were filled with amusement and the slyness of having succeeded. You were not asleep. I just could not sleep, and happened to overhear. She was so mad she wanted to bite him. But the very next second,
Kingly.
So you were here all along. When did you find out? Probably from the very beginning, I suppose. From the moment you fell into my hands, you were so much like her. Luo Mangosteen's mind was in total chaos. She had fought this man for 500 years, assuming he was aloof and arrogant, and did not care about anything. Only now did she realize he had been waiting all along for her to willingly reveal the truth. Luo Mangosteen's eyes turned red. You absolute bastard! You gently opened your arms. Come here. Let me hold you. She froze for a second, then threw herself into your arms. I hate you the most. You gently embraced her, resting your chin on top of her head. I know. The girl buried her face in your chest, crying a river of tears. I hate you the most. You gently embraced her, resting your chin on top of her head. I know. The girl buried her face in your chest, crying a river of tears. Half a month later, your body gradually recovered. Although your cultivation had not fully returned, At least you could get out of bed and walk around. Little White, I want to take a walk down the mountain. To see the mortal realm, Luo Mangosteen frowned. With your body in this state, what if something happens to you? With you by my side. I am not afraid. Her face flushed slightly. Who said I am accompanying you? I am just afraid you will die out there, without even someone to collect your corpse. You chuckled softly. Then I will have to trouble Little White to collect my corpse. You would better not die before me, or I will throw you into a mass grave to feed the wild dogs. The two of you packed up and left Hangshao Peak, heading east all the way, arriving at Bluestone Town. It happened to be a temple fair. The streets were bustling with people coming and going, incredibly lively. Luo Mangosteen grew up in the demon realm. It was her first time seeing such a scene. Her eyes sparkled with curiosity. What is this? She pointed at a stall filled with sugar figures. Sugar figures, little toys mortals make out of melted sugar. I want this, Owen. She pointed at a little fox. The stall owner laughed. This sugar figure is not for sale.
You have to hit the bullseye to take it.
You looked at your own aged, weakened hands. With your cultivation not fully restored, your aim would definitely be affected. But looking into Luo Mangosteen's sparkling eyes,
Right.
I will give it a try. The first arrow missed. The second arrow did not even hit the target. When you raised the third arrow, Luo Mangosteen twitched her fingers. A surge of spiritual energy attached itself to the bamboo arrow. Bullseye. You took the sugar figure and handed it to her. For you?
Did you do it on purpose?
Choosing a fox. What do you think? She huffed. I suppose you have good taste. This fox bears some resemblance to me. Both are very pretty. This fox bears some resemblance to me. Both are very pretty. The two of you strolled around the town all day, watching acrobatics and eating street food, guessing lantern riddles and floating river lanterns.
Luo Mangosteen had a wonderful time.
Smiling much more than usual, you followed behind her, having never seen her like this before. In your impression, Luo Mangosteen was always domineering and supreme. Now she was acting like an ordinary young girl, happy over a sugar figure for half the day. Nemesis, what are you looking at? Just thinking that you look beautiful when you smile. Her face instantly flushed red. I am the Demon Lord. How could the Demon Lord be beautiful?
Right.
The Demon Lord is not beautiful.
You did that on purpose.
The two of you found an inn and settled in. Late at night, Luo Mangosteen fell into a deep sleep, but you could not sleep. A restless power inside your body was growing stronger and stronger. Suddenly, a sharp pain erupted from deep within your meridians. You let out a muffled groan and curled up. Lin Jackfruit. Luo Mangosteen was jolted awake. She rushed to the bed and grabbed your freezing hand. She channeled her demonic essence into your body. The next second, her face drastically changed. Something deep inside his meridians was violently slamming around, like sealed spiritual energy. Tracing that power down, she saw that within Lin Jackfruit's deep dantian, an ancient and powerful seal was currently crumbling, a seal of the heavenly Tao. Luo Mangosteen's pupils shrank. She had always thought Lin Jackfruit's cultivation was stripped away by the heavenly Tao. Only now did she realize it was actually sealed. After that system disappeared, his body began to fail, because the seal was constantly draining his life force. Bastards. She gritted her teeth and hesitated no longer. Surging all her demonic essence inward, she rammed it against the seal. Who knew how much time had passed? But the seal finally shattered completely. A terrifying wave of spiritual energy erupted from Lin Jackfruit's body as the light dissipated. A terrifying wave of spiritual energy erupted from Lin Jackfruit's body as the light dissipated. Your breathing became much steadier. The aura of impending death vanished, replaced by an increasingly vibrant life force. The moment the seal shattered, Luo Mangosteen saw an illusory shadow briefly appear. Host defected, activating destruction protocol, and then it self-destructed and scattered into nothingness. So that so-called capture system was never a good thing to begin with. It was controlling him, sealing his cultivation, and forcing him to carry out missions.
Kingly.
I think I had a dream. You began in a hoarse voice. I dreamt of 500 years ago. When that system told me, I had to capture your heart. It taught me how to please you, but I did not want to do that. I just wanted to be like a normal person and have a proper conversation with you. Luo Mangosteen felt as though something had brutally clutched her heart. So 500 years ago, it was just the system forcing him to approach her the wrong way. And because he was too socially awkward, he did not know how to refuse it. Ultimately, due to a series of blunders, they became mortal enemies and fought for 500 long years. Why did not you say so earlier? Would you have believed me? Back then, you wanted nothing more than to beat me to a pulp. So for these 500 years, you have been controlled by that damn system all along. Pretty much. It sealed my cultivation and made me do all sorts of tasks. But I did not want to use false methods to get close to you. I would rather be punished than do those missions. Luo Mangosteen's voice choked with tears. You big idiot. You wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. Do not cry. It is all over now. The seal is broken. The system is gone. From now on, I can openly and honestly like you. What did you say?
I like you.
I have liked you since 500 years ago. Her face instantly flushed beet red. She opened her mouth, but could not utter a single word.
I like you.
I have liked you since 500 years ago. Her face instantly flushed beet red. She opened her mouth, but could not utter a single word. This idiot. How could he be so direct? I have not prepared myself yet. You shut up. I do not want to hear it. You looked at her flustered, defensive appearance.
Right.
I will shut up. Over the next few days, the two of you continued traveling through the mortal realm. Your cultivation recovered at lightning speed. From foundation establishment to golden core to nascent soul, the speed was frightening. I want to go to the myriad demon mountain range. The spiritual energy there is abundant, making it suitable for cultivation. Luo Mangosteen frowned. Demonic beasts are everywhere there. Your cultivation has only just recovered to the nascent soul realm. Going there is practically courting death. With you here, what do I have to fear? Do not always use me as a meat shield. You are not my protective charm.
You are my kingly.
Her heart nearly jumped out of her throat. Fine. Let us go then. Who is afraid of who? The myriad demon mountain range. A paradise for demonic beasts. All kinds of demonic beasts swarmed over the mountains and plains. The air was thick with dense spiritual energy, mixed with a faint scent of blood. A pack of demonic wolves surrounded you. Luo Mangosteen was about to make a move, but you stopped her. Let me handle this. I want to test my current strength. The frost chill sword was unsheathed. A flash of sword light gleamed, and the lead wolf was instantly cleaved in half. In the blink of an eye, 7 or 8 demonic wolves were all slain.
Your cultivation.
Early soul formation realm.
You just broke through again?
What a freak. From nascent soul to soul formation. Normal cultivators need decades of practice. He just chopped a few wolves and broke through. The two of you stayed in the myriad demon mountain range for half a month. With every battle, your cultivation improved. From early soul formation to mid-stage. Then to peak late stage. The speed was absurd. As evening approached, the two of you rested in a cave. Luo Mangosteen leaned against the cave wall, feeling somewhat agitated. Over the past few months of spending day and night together, their feelings had grown much deeper. Yet, she still had not said those words. I like you. The two of you rested in a cave. Luo Mangosteen leaned against the cave wall, feeling somewhat agitated. Over the past few months of spending day and night together, their feelings had grown much deeper. Yet, she still had not said those words. I like you. She was the demon lord. How could she be the first own to say it? Little White, you sat down next to her and took out an object. It was that red thread. Do you still remember this? I remember. It is the thread you tied to my tail. Do you know the legend of the 3 lifetimes red thread? It is said that once both sides develop genuine feelings, the red thread fully activates. You raised the red thread before your eyes. Under the illumination of the moonlight, the red thread was softly glowing. It is glowing, which means it has activated. So, do you like me too? Luo Mangosteen's face immediately flushed red. Her heart pounded so fast she could hardly breathe. Stop asking. The final was so quiet it was barely audible. I did not hear clearly. Say it again. She whipped her head around, glaring at you fiercely. I said, means him. I won't say it a second time. You could not help but laugh out loud, reaching out to pull her into your embrace. I heard it. Thank you, kingly. She did not struggle, and even quietly buried her head into your chest. Nemesis. You only know how to bully me. You lowered your head and kissed the top of her hair. I was not bullying you. I am just very happy. However, just as the two were immersed in this sweet moment, in a dark corner at the edge of the mountain range, a black-robed figure was observing the direction of the cave from afar. Found him. The traitor of the Takeshu sect, Lin Jackfruit, along with the demonic abomination, has appeared in the myriad demon mountain range. A cold, sinister voice echoed from the void. Excellent. Notify all the major sects to encircle and eliminate the traitor, his crimes, murdering his master and exterminating his sect, colluding with the demonic path, and privately hiding an ancient ominous weapon. Kill him without mercy. 3 days later, at the exit of the myriad demon mountain range, the scene before their eyes caused both of their expressions to change drastically. Cultivators covered the mountains and plains, numbering at least tens of thousands, wearing the garbs of different sects. They completely blocked the mountain exit, leaving not a single gap. Leading them was Shen Durian's son, Shen Salak, the newly appointed sect leader of the Teju sect. Lin Jackfruit,
You murdered your master.
colluded with the demonic path and secretly hoarded the ancient ominous weapon, the Myriad Souls banner. Your crimes are unforgivable. Today, the 7 great Orthodox sects have joined forces to apprehend you, traitor. You looked at the formation before you, your brows furrowing slightly. Tens of thousands of cultivators, hundreds of experts above the soul formation realm, and even ancient monsters at the void refinement and tribulation crossing realms. Mangosteen, I will carve a path in a moment. You go first? Are you crazy? How can you hold them off alone?
You did not say a word.
But your eyes looked as if you were saying goodbye. Luo Mangosteen grabbed your arm, her voice trembling. This venerable Owen is not leaving. If we die, We die together. She cut you off, turning around to face the allied forces. It is just a fight, is not it? I will fight alongside you. I am the demon lord of the 9 underworlds. Today, I will let these orthodox hypocrites witness the true might of the demon lord. Demonic energy surged violently around her, transforming into black currents swirling in the air. It is the demon lord. Luo Mangosteen is not dead. Panic instantly erupted within the allied army's ranks. Shen Salak steadied his nerves and shouted coldly, "She is gravely injured and has not recovered. How much combat power could she possibly have? Attack. Kill them both." Dozens of attacks at the Void Refinement Realm and above blasted toward you simultaneously. You tried to shield Luo Mangosteen, but she forcefully pushed you away. Get back. The next second, she burned her origin essence. Monstrous demonic flames erupted around her. A long howl that shook the heavens and the earth rang out. She transformed into a giant fox that blotted out the sky. 9 tails unfurled behind her, each hundreds of feet long. Her silvery white fur was dyed blood red by the demonic flames. 9 tails unfurled behind her, each hundreds of feet long. Her silvery white fur was dyed blood red by the demonic flames, the 9-tailed heavenly fox. Luo Mangosteen's divine soul true form. When this venerable Owen ruled the 6 realms, other than immortal venerable Lin, not a single Owen of you dared to face me in battle. And now,
You bunch of ants.
dare to look this venerable Owen in the eye. All 9 tails swept out simultaneously. Those dozens of void refinement attacks were instantly obliterated. The heavenly fox opened its massive maw, spewing out terrifying demonic flames in the span of a single breath. Thousands of people were reduced to ash. The 9-tailed heavenly fox rampaged through the allied army as if entering an unpeopled land. Every swipe of her tails claimed hundreds of lives. The scene was simply a living purgatory. She is burning. Her origin, essence. She won't last long, Shen Salak roared. He was right. Luo Mangosteen's origin essence was depleting rapidly. The heavenly fox avatar began to slowly shrink, but she did not retreat because Lin Jackfruit was standing right behind her. Nemesis. It is my turn to protect you this time. You saw countless wounds appear on the heavenly fox's body. Its silvery white fur was dyed a deep crimson. You wanted to rush forward and help her, but were forced back by a barrage of attacks. You could only watch helplessly as her origin essence was exhausted bit by bit. With a deafening boom, the 9-tailed heavenly fox collapsed heavily to the ground, reverting to her human form. Luo Mangosteen lay in a pool of blood, her breathing so faint it was barely perceptible. Mangosteen, like a madman, you dashed over and pulled her into your arms. Her face was as pale as paper, blood spilling from the corner of her mouth. Yet her eyes remained open, curling into a weak smile. Lin Jackfruit, run!
You held her tightly.
Tears bursting from your eyes. You idiot! Actually, I really like you.
I like you so much.
In my next life, I hope to be
Your wife?
Her eyes slowly closed, and her breathing vanished completely. Mangosteen, cradling her body, you let out a heart-wrenching roar of agony. Her eyes slowly closed, and her breathing vanished completely. Mangosteen, cradling her body, you let out a heart-wrenching roar of agony. You looked as if you had gone completely insane. Tears fell onto her pale face. Do not leave me.
You promised me.
We were going to be together. Shen Salak's laughter echoed from a short distance away. She is dead. That she-devil is finally dead. Lin Jackfruit, today is your doomsday. Slaughter him. Hundreds of attacks bombarded toward you. Holding Luo Mangosteen's body, you remained motionless. You did not even lift your head to look at the incoming attacks. In the split second before the attacks landed, an unimaginably terrifying power inside you erupted, as vast as the ocean and boundlessly majestic. In an instant, all the attacks were shattered into dust. Every cultivator within a 100-yard radius was vaporized into a blood mist. Impossible. How can he be at the heavenly immortal realm? Shen Salak's face turned deathly pale. You slowly raised your head. Your eyes had turned a bottomless pitch black. Devoid of any emotion, there was only endless killing intent.
You all
Deserve to die. A horrifying pressure swept out. Tens of thousands of cultivators were like ants, trembling all over, kneeling on the ground, completely unable to move an inch. The frost chill sword unsheathed itself from the void. Its cold glint grew brighter and brighter, icebound 10,000 miles. Kill. A surge of sword aura that spanned the heavens slashed out explosively, carrying the might to shatter a galaxy. 3,000 cultivators were instantly turned into a blood mist. Holding Luo Mangosteen in your arms, you stepped forward one step at a time. With every step you took, hundreds of people were reduced to a mist of blood. Heavenly tribulation. He is triggering the heavenly tribulation. Shen Salak screamed. The sky above turned dark. Thick black clouds gathered, and lightning flashed. It was the legendary heavenly tribulation that only descended upon breaking through to the heavenly immortal realm. But you did not even spare it a glance. Raising your hand, you swung it lightly. A beam of sword aura shot straight into the sky. Did I tell you to come? Get the hell out of my sight. Disperse. The heavenly tribulation was cleaved apart by your single sword strike. Shen Salak slumped onto the ground, completely stupefied. You continued to walk forward, each step trampling over corpses. The heavenly tribulation was cleaved apart by your single sword strike. Shen Salak slumped onto the ground, completely stupefied. You continued to walk forward, each step trampling over corpses, until you arrived right in front of Shen Salak. Senior, please spare my life. I was wrong. I will give the position of sect leader to you. You look down at him. You do not know you were wrong. You just know you're going to die. Your mother is waiting for you in the soul banner. The myriad souls banner flew out from the void. Shen Salak's soul was forcefully ripped out and refined into the banner. In just a few brief moments, the allied army of the 7 great sects was completely annihilated. Out of hundreds of thousands of cultivators, not a single Own survived. You stood amidst a mountain of corpses and a sea of blood, holding Luo Mangostein's icy body in your arms. Mangosteen, I have killed them all. Wake up and take a look, okay? She gave no response, but suddenly you felt that she was still alive. Although only a trace of faint breath remained, she was still alive. Wait for me. With a blur of your figure, you disappeared from the spot. Hanxiao Peak Frostflower Hall. You gently placed Luo Mangosteen onto the bed and inspected her injuries. The result of checking her pulse made your face look exceptionally grim. All her meridians were severed. Her demonic essence was completely drained. Her divine soul was severely damaged. More than half of her origin essence was consumed. If it were anyone else, they would have been dead long ago. Only relying on the tenacious vitality of the 9-tailed heavenly fox was she forcibly clinging to her last breath. I won't let you die. You channeled your heavenly immortal realm spiritual energy, infusing it into her body thread by thread, to nourish her shattered meridians and divine soul. For an entire hour, you continuously transferred your spiritual energy without a single pause. Your face grew paler and paler, but you did not stop. For a whole month, you had not closed your eyes once. Your hair had turned much whiter, yet you continued to guard her. Mangosteen, when will you wake up? As long as you wake up, I will agree to whatever you want. And then you felt that ice-cold hand in yours twitch slightly. Luo Mangosteen's eyes slowly fluttered open, looking at your tear-streaked face. The corners of her lips slightly curled up. Nemesis, why are you crying? How embarrassing. You froze for a moment, and then you smiled. But as you smiled, the tears flowed even harder. It is not embarrassing. If you are awake, then it is not embarrassing at all. Dummy, how could a demon lord die so easily? Half a month after Luo Mangosteen began recuperating, she received news from the demon realm. The rebel army had breached the 9 underworlds palace. How could a demon lord die so easily? Half a month after Luo Mangosteen began recuperating, she received news from the demon realm. The rebel army had breached the 9 underworlds palace. The 7 great elders had jointly rebelled, occupying more than half of the demon realm's territory. They even spread the news that demon lord Luo Mangosteen was dead. I need to go back. The demon realm is mine. I won't let those traitors succeed. I will go with you. Your enemies are my enemies. We are a family. Luo Mangosteen's face flushed bright red. Who is family with you? This venerable Owen has not agreed to marry you yet. Then do you agree? Let us go. Back to the demon realm. Whatever you want to say it after we have won the war. The 9 underworlds palace in the demon realm had completely changed its appearance. The rebel army's flags were planted everywhere. The head of the 7 great elders, Li Rambutan, sat squarely upon the demon lord's throne, reporting to the demon lord. Luo Mangosteen has slaughtered her way into the demon realm with a man. Li Rambutan's expression changed. Activate the myriad demons heaven-devouring array. At the border of the demon realm, you and Luo Mangosteen stood shoulder to shoulder. Before you were hundreds of thousands of rebel soldiers. Leave them to me. I will carve a path. Save your strength to deal with Li Rambutan. In a blur of motion, you charged into the enemy ranks, the frost-chill sword unsheathed, sending sword auras flying in all directions. Wherever the sword passed, rebel soldiers fell like scythed wheat. Luo Mangosteen's demonic energy surged wildly, transforming into a streak of black light. She dove into the enemy formation. The two of you were like 2 incredibly sharp swords. In less than half an hour, more than half of the hundreds of thousands of rebel troops were dead or injured upon stepping into the grand hall. Li Rambutan sneered coldly. Behind him, the myriad demons heaven-devouring array was fully operational. Li Rambutan, my royal father's death 300 years ago. Was that your doing? Li Rambutan threw his head back and laughed maniacally.
You have finally figured it out.
That is right. That useless father of yours died by my hands. The position of Demon Emperor was meant to be mine. Luo Mangosteen's eyes turned entirely bloodshot. My royal father adopted you when you were just a child. Yet you bit the hand that fed you and backstabbed him.
You deserve to die.
Her demonic energy violently exploded.
You deserve to die.
Her demonic energy violently exploded. exploded. She charged toward Lirambutan. Simultaneously, the myriad demons' heaven-devouring array activated, sending countless black chains snaking toward her. Mangosteen,
You shouted loudly.
and the frost-chill sword transformed into a beam of cold light, slicing every single chain to pieces.
You go kill him.
Leave the array to me. Li Rambutan sneered. I have already devoured the cultivation of the other 6 elders. I am now at the peak of the Mahayana realm. You are just a crippled piece of trash recovering from severe injuries. What makes you think you can fight me? Luo Mangosteen did not flinch. So what if you're at the peak of the Mahayana realm? Even if this venerable ON only has a single breath left, I will still slaughter you to avenge my father. You located the array core and shattered it with a single sword strike. The array instantly collapsed. With a flicker of your body, you appeared directly behind Lirambutan, blocking off all his avenues of retreat. Mangosteen. Now, Luo Mangosteen burned her demonic essence, transforming into a black fire fox, blasting straight into Lirambutan. Heavenly flames completely incinerated his divine soul. Li Rambutan was reduced to ashes and scattered into the wind. The battle was over. Luo Mangosteen stood before her father's memorial tablet, her face bathed in tears. Father, your daughter has avenged you. The own who killed you is dead. You can finally rest in peace. You walked forward and gently hugged her. Cry. You will feel better once you cry it out, leaning into your embrace. She burst into loud sobs. In this moment, she was not the demon lord. She was just a daughter who had lost her father. After a long time, she grasped your hand and knelt down before the memorial tablet. Your daughter has also brought someone here for you to meet. He is your daughter's husband, above the 9 underworlds palace. Tens of thousands of demonic golden lanterns hung like an inverted galaxy. Luo Mangosteen wore a phoenix coronet and a bridal gown, her heart beating so fast it felt like it would burst from her chest. Lin Jackfruit, have you really thought this through? She transmitted her voice to him secretly. Once you become my husband, you can never go back to being a righteous, immortal venerable. You curled your lips into a smile and mouthed the words, I made up my mind 500 years ago. When the ceremony concluded, you walked up the jade steps own by own, taking out a perfectly restored Jianjia bird jade pendant. You personally tied it around her waist. When the ceremony concluded, you walked up the jade steps own by own, taking out a perfectly restored Jianjia bird jade pendant. You personally tied it around her waist. What I could not give you 500 years ago, I am giving to you today. Luo Mangosteen's eyes grew hot. From her sleeve, she took out a glazed ornament, a crystal clear little fox. It was exactly the sugar figure from the temple fair. After it melted, she had recarved it using colored glaze. What I could not say 500 years ago.
I like you too.
The last few words were as light as a feather falling to the ground. Say it again. I did not say anything. You're hearing things? Flustered, she yanked you up. Hurry up. It is time to go toast the guests. The cultivators in the hall let out good-natured roars of laughter. After 3 rounds of drinks, Luo Mangosteen used the excuse of sobering up to drag you back and escape to the bedchamber. As soon as the doors closed, she instantly transformed back into the little white fox and burrowed into your arms. I am exhausted. Being the demon lord is so much trouble. You expertly rubbed the soft spot behind her ears. And what about me? The little fox stiffened.
You're all right, I guess.
Just all right. So annoying. Shut up. She swatted the back of your hand with her paw, but the force was as light as a tickle. The title of the nemesis's husband. This title. This seat will accept it. Luo Mangosteen's heartbeat completely lost its rhythm. How could this man be like this? 500 years ago, they fought to the death. And now he was using the most shameless method to say the sweetest words with such righteous confidence. Shameless, she muttered softly, yet could not help but nuzzle deeper into your embrace.
Who wants to marry a nemesis like you?
Himph, it is me who wants to marry you. You chuckled lightly and scooped her up into your arms. Walking toward the edge of the bed, Lord, Demon Lord, the spring night is short. It is time to rest. Put me down. This venerable Oan has not agreed yet. The rest of her words were sealed off by warm lips. From 500 years of drawing swords against each other to now having their lips and teeth intertwined. The contrast was so vast that it almost made her think she was dreaming. But the lingering touch on her lips was so incredibly real, and the arm wrapped around her waist was so strong. She slowly closed her eyes,